Thanks for checking out this video. So this is the 1985 version of our 1980s horror superlatives video, the one that's in collaboration with your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete. So make sure you watch my video, you hear my superlatives, all my picks, and then you go over to your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete's channel and you check out his picks, and then you come back to my channel, go to the community tab, and make sure you vote for which one of us you thought had the better picks or had the best justifications for our picks. Once again, it's on the community tab. Something I need to say on this, I hate that I need to say this, but please, people, don't just vote for someone just because you like that person or whatever reason. Actually consider the picks and make a decision then, because I've noticed that there were some votes that happened before people could have realistically had a chance to actually watch both of our videos, or actually even one of our videos. So please do not do that. That really destroys the whole point of this. It's just supposed to be fun, and I don't want people just throwing votes out there just to support a person if they're not actually in line with, thinking their picks were the best, because it really then kind of nullifies the people who are really taking their time and really listening to our choices and voting, because it's fun for those people, and we don't want to take that fun away. So the other thing is, it's just for fun. So please, just don't do that, people. Anyway, the fun stuff. Let's get to the horror movie superlatives. Oh, and reminders, we used Letterboxd, where you can just kind of search by release date for the specific year and the genre of horror, obviously. And then our rule is you can only use a film for one category, so it does get kind of tough. Now, 1985 had a lot of really good stuff, and I actually own almost every single one of my picks except for the very last one, so I will be showing those to you as well. So for most amazing, this should not really come as too much of a surprise for anyone. It is Reanimator. Wonderful film. Obviously, I've had this so long. I have it on DVD because I've loved it for such a long time. H.P. Lovecraft done probably the best he's ever been done in film, to be honest. The practical effects in this are amazing. I could see someone picking this for best gore for sure, because it is gory. It's crazy. I mean, obviously, Jeffrey Combs as Herbert West is freaking phenomenal. Barbara Crampton is wonderful in this film. The whole, glowing serum is so fun. The story is unbelievably intriguing. The character arc is very interesting because Herbert West isn't a good person, but for some reason you end up actually rooting for him. So how well written that script is really speaks volumes with how you identify with and root for someone who's doing some really bad things in Herbert West. The craziness in this film is insane. The head-giving head scene is shocking. There's so much to see here and so much to love with this film. I really cannot say enough about Reanimator, but I don't want to keep going on all freaking day about it. So Reanimator is my most amazing pick for 1985. Next up is my best so bad it's good film. And oh, by the way, I have a review for Reanimator on my channel, and I also have a review that I did kind of recently on my channel for this best so bad it's good pick, and that is Demons by Limberto Bava. Stuart Gordon did Reanimator, by the way, if people don't know, but I'm sure you do. Limberto Bava's Demons, basically the way this film came together was Limberto Bava getting together with people like Lucio Fulci and Dario Argento and Dardano Sacchetti and trying to work out some sort of crazy script that actually is a total jumbled mess, and that's why it's my pick for best so bad it's good, because the story is not there. There's really not much of a story. It's just literally demon invasion of a theater, and then we find out it goes even further than that, but you're not here for the story. It's about the crazy effects, and I could also see this being picked for best gore by someone, but crazy effects, amazing effects, really wacky, weird characters, that crazy, interesting Italian English dubbing over the films that was so common back when this came out, mainly like 70s, 80s. Yeah, really wacky characters doing wacky things, making stupid decisions in a cool setting of a theater. That's one of the other things. Yes, there's another crazy thing of a person riding on a motorcycle through a theater with a samurai sword chopping down demons. I mean, If you need more of a reason to watch the film than that, I just cannot help you at this point. Demons, unbelievably fun. It's shot really well too, though, so it's very visually pleasing at the same time. And if you've never seen this film before, the first time you watch it, you truly don't know where things are going. You really don't, trust me. And then once you're done, you're like, yep, kind of loved it. Not a great film story-wise, but I loved it. So that's why Demons is my pick for best So Bad It's Good film. So my next one is the most WTF film. And this one is by a director I've enjoyed a lot of their stuff, obviously because I own this. And that's Dario Argento, who had a tie to Demons. And that film is Phenomena. It's a fun film. I definitely recommend watching it, especially if you like Argento. It looks wonderful, as pretty much every single Argento film does. It's got Jennifer Connelly in it and Donald Pleasance, which is amazing. But I'd say it's very WTF because there are a lot of weird, crazy WTF twists in this film, especially the end, which I'm not going to tell people what that is because I know there are probably a bunch of people who have not seen this film before, so just track down Phenomena. But I will tell you one of the things up front that is very WTF for me from this film from the first time I saw it. Jennifer Connelly's character has some sort of like telekinetic or not telekinetic, telepathic abilities with insects. And then that really plays a big role in the film. And yeah, there's a big focus on like animals and insects in this film. And trust me, it is a wild ride. It is crazy. There's some good gore in it, but it's definitely WTF because of the premise and because of that ending. That ending shocked me in the sense of it was very left field. I really did not see it coming, and it is kind of shocking in how it's shot and the whole idea behind it. So, Phenomena, definitely recommend it, definitely fun, but it is my WTF pick for 1985. Then moving on to the best gore. Now, this one shouldn't really surprise anyone because really this film kind of, I'm not going to say it pioneered a different way of doing gore, but it really brought to people's attention that you can do gore in a film in a different way, and that is George A. Romero's Day of the Dead. Day of the Dead, unbelievable gore. It looked super, super realistic. Obviously, the most iconic portion of the gore in this film was that part where the one individual gets pulled apart by zombies literally in half, and all the entrails, everything is just like coming out, and it looks realistic because they used actual pig innards for it. Now, famously, there's a story that they had an issue where they went to shoot somewhere else, and then they came back to where they were storing these pig parts in a refrigerator. The refrigerator had stopped working, so these parts were rancid. Well, they didn't have enough time to go get more, so they just used it. So apparently it was very unbearable when they were shooting a lot of these gore scenes on the set because the stench was horrendous. But yeah, you cannot argue with the fact that Day of the Dead has amazing gore. Tom Savini and Greg Nicotero worked to kind of take this to the next level. I think Savini was involved with this one. Yes, of course. Yeah, he's on here. I don't think, actually, Nicotero, I don't think was doing practical effects. I think he was assisting in some way, and he has a small actual role as a soldier in this film, but the practical effects are unbelievable. And like I said, the most iconic, the one that really pops into your brain is that person being torn in half. So that is why Day of the Dead is my pick for the best gore of 1985. So my next one is the most unique. Now, people are not going to be too surprised on this one because I'm a big fan of this film, and I talk about this film a decent amount when I have the opportunity, and that film is Larry Cohen's The Stuff. Now, I thought about doing this as a best so bad it's good, but it's actually not a bad film. It's actually a wonderful film when you consider it. It's very unique, though. The whole idea of a product showing up from space, it being sold to people, and then basically killing them, but not like killing them in a way that they start like frothing at the mouth and then they die, in the sense that it kind of takes over their body, then leaves their body and leaves their body like this messed up husk. It is horrifying at times in the way that they did some of the practical effects. It is laughable at times because of that. Also, Paul Sorvino's character as like this Spears, as this kind of like really weird conspiracy theory military guy who has his own militia in the middle of nowhere in a castle. Like, there's a lot of left field kind of weird stuff to it, but Michael Moriarty's acting, as usual, is phenomenal. He is such a fun character in that, including Mo Rutherford is his name, including the best lines of, you know why they call me Mo? Because every time I get money, I just want Mo. And my favorite is, nobody is as dumb as I appear to be. But the film is highly unique. It's not just unique because of the actual story that's playing out here of the very weird thing that shows up from space and is leaving people's bodies as husk, but it's unique in the sense of how it approaches making fun of consumerism. It's very on the nose. It's not like subtext at all. It beats you in the head, but it's done really well. So that is why my pick for the most unique film for 85 is The Stuff by Larry Cohen. My next one is most underrated, and I own this, so I still enjoy it, but I'm going to have to go with Friday the 13th Part 5, The New Beginning. This is my first 8-film Blu-ray collection that came out a while ago. I got it for a really good deal. It was like $15 or something. Yeah, it was a good deal, but obviously I enjoy it because, you know, I own it, but I think in general, just the Friday the 13th films are probably the most overrated franchise, period, in the horror realm. Not because it's not good, because it definitely is good, and I definitely enjoy it because obviously I own it, but because it gets so much press. It gets talked about to death. Like, everyone's talking about it all the time. It gets covered in like documentaries all the time. It gets referred to in other films all the time. Like, it is done to death. Some people may feel that way about other things, kind of like Nightmare on Elm Street. I could see that. But I think Friday the 13th of everything just gets talked about more and more and more and more all the time. And I get a little bit tired of it because I think there are a lot of other films that we could focus on. But that said, like I said, I do enjoy this film, The New Beginning, but a lot of other people aren't huge on it within the franchise because this is the one where the killer isn't Jason Voorhees. And that's signaled by the blue, the hockey mask with the blue paint on it instead of the red paint. It's, you know, an escaped mental patient, basically. And that was a big letdown for a lot of people at the end, where you're just like, oh, it's just some guy. And that's a huge letdown within this. And I just don't understand the choice of, you're 5 movies into this franchise. Every single one of them has had to do with Jason Voorhees. I know he's not the killer in the first one, but it has to do with him in the first one. Then you get to the 5th one after having him be the killer in 2, 3, and 4, and you decide to go with some random person. I understand that you wanted to do it as some sort of twist, but it's a twist that people don't like. It's a weird twist, and it just doesn't work for me personally. So the whole concept, plus the kills in this aren't that great either. Let's be honest. Some of these have had wonderful kills. Very gory, very good looking, very inventive. For the most part, the kills in this aren't that great, and the gore is not there, in my opinion. So this film takes a big step back in the franchise, in my opinion, but I would also like to hear other opinions on that. Go ahead. I know people will let me know. So that's why my pick for the most overrated film of 1985 is Friday the 13th, A New Beginning. So the last one I don't actually own. I probably should. It's one I saw kind of recently, and I do have a review for it on my channel. And that is Toby Hooper's film Life Force. I do not hear people talk about Life Force like at all, and I really should be hearing more of it. They had it on Shudder at one point. I don't think it's on there anymore, but definitely seek this film out. It is literally about space vampires. If that sounds like a crazy interesting concept, it is. It is shot beautifully. It looks freaking amazing. The acting is top notch in this film. Like I said, it just looks wonderful. The practical effects are awesome, and you really don't fully know where they're going to go with this. It's a very unique, interesting take on vampirism. I mean, space. Like, literally, they grab the vampires from space and bring them to Earth, and then things go wild. It gets so big in scope as the film goes on, and the fact that I'm not hearing people really talk about this film is almost criminal, in my opinion. This film is wonderful. I do consider it to be definitely one of Toby Hooper's best films, if not his best. I know a lot of people are saying like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but I'm talking like you know, from a technical standpoint, everything, when you put everything together, like the story, how it looks, directing, acting, all that stuff. That's what I'm saying. This could potentially be considered as one of Toby Hooper's best, and the fact that it's not really talked about kills me, because Life Force is a wonderful, wonderful film. So that is why Life Force is my pick for most underrated. So hopefully you enjoyed this. I know a lot of you will be commenting and saying, I agree with this, I don't agree with that. That is wonderful. Also, giving us your personal picks is always fun. Love reading that stuff. And then, like I said, go over to Uncle Pete's channel, which is linked in my description, and watch his video. Then come back, go to the community tab of my channel and vote. But consider whose picks you line up with best. Thank you so much for watching this. We've had a lot of fun with this, and I really appreciate everyone getting involved with it. It's had pretty good response, so we've been enjoying that. Do me a favor, hit subscribe to my channel. Also hit subscribe to your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete's channel. We really would appreciate that. Also hit the notification bell buttons on both of our channels, because then you'll know when we're putting up new videos. I believe he is doing at this point 2 a week because of this, plus his Nails in the Coffin videos, which are a lot of fun. And I'm doing 4 videos a week. So yeah, you'll know when we're seeing stuff, or when we're putting stuff up, and you can see it first. And that does help us get extra views, I'm just saying. But anyway, thank you very much for taking your time to watch this video and Uncle Pete's. And until next time, keep it brutal.